Hello and welcome back to World Cup action. Canada versus the Netherlands. We join this match at game 4. At game 5, with both Canada and the Netherlands looking for a positive result here, as they are both neck and neck in the running for a quarter-final spot. Canada lost their first game against the Netherlands but drew their second one, setting up a very interesting final two matches. This is the third of the 4 that is to be played between these two. And looking at the board, it seems like something we've seen many times before. Get your draw up with villages and hunting grounds. Stonemason is there to help you build very quickly. Junk dealer helps you trash to get thin very quickly, and then pay attention to the piles, manipulate your deck uh, to the point to which you can guide it to an ending in your favor. So how do we open here? Well, the players have a couple different ideas. Hugo goes for cut purse and silver, which is reasonable here against Shaila's Blessed Village and Farmer's Market. So the cut purse and silver act effectively like double silver, making it pretty likely you'll get to 5 for your junk dealer straight away here. Procession, very early procession for Shaila. I know there's the necropolis around to increase your action density a little bit, but I'm not sure that was the time to go picking up the procession. Procession, I didn't mention in the beginning, is another card that can help you empty piles, particularly when you know what you're doing. I don't know what I'm doing when I play with procession, but there are some good players out there who know what they're doing with procession, and very beautiful endings it gives. So one of the things I want to point out in this match, a second junk dealer for Hugo is, well, with that trashing thing. So Shayla has not managed to pick up a junk dealer yet, and that is quite bad. That is going to hinder her development to a great extent, to the point to which seeing two junk dealers versus 0 on turn 5 here kind of points in the direction of the Netherlands, even at this early juncture in the game so far. So 6 here for Shayla. She really should start looking at the junk dealers, but I don't think she gets one straight away. No, straight. She goes for some farmers markets and a lighthouse. Again, the lighthouse is there to defend against the odd cut purse attack. It doesn't do much else for you. Charm here for Hugo, which is good, and another procession for Shayla. So I can't say that I like her deck building at this point. Especially the lack of junk dealer is really not something I agree with here. So another aspect of this game that I wanted to point out is the use of farmers market, and this is something I've seen in a few games so far following Team Canada throughout the World Cup. This farmers market card, I don't know what it is about this card. Some people just seem okay attracted to it. Fine if you like the card and you want to try to make it work. That's me and Exorcist, me and Ghost, right? I like the cards. I really want to try and experiment and see how they work and whatnot. And if you're doing it from an experimental point of view, fine. First stonemason buy here, very good, very good. Picking up a couple lost cities, not bad at all. Shayla does have a hunting grounds, whereas Hugo does not yet have a hunting ground, so that's a slight advantage for her. But she has these two farmers markets, and I don't really know what the situation is with these farmers markets. Gaining another one here off of a processioned lighthouse. So okay, let's look at farmers market a bit more closely here, right? It is a stop card. It does not draw cards for you in the way that Blessed Village, Lost City, Junk Dealer is drawing cards for Hugo in this instance here. Gets up to 7, that should be hunting grounds, but uh, he went for procession on 2 4s. That's okay too. Anyways, it is a stop card. It does not help you to draw, and especially in decks like these where there is trashing available, you would like to get your draw running first before you decide to put other things in it that don't draw but are potentially more powerful than just drawing. So here's where Shayla picks up her first junk dealer off of a processioned blessed village, and that was prompted out of necessity to continue her turn there, not because she wanted to pick up the junk dealer. So yes, you would like to get your deck running first, make sure the draw is in order before you start adding stop cards in general. In general, that's not always the case. In general, like so for instance here on this board, right, there are only two sources of plus buy, one of which is farmers market. So I could see you picking up a farmers market somewhat early there with the intention of plus buy. Of course, it has its limitations as a plus buy. It explodes sometimes, like Tragic Hero. So, but you can get some good use out of it and some good money out of it. 9 here, 3 buys. This should just be a stonemason for something, like 2 lost cities or 2 hunting grounds or something. Um, what does he take here? A couple villages? No, village and cut purse. At that stage of the game, I don't really know what the cut purse is doing. But I guess Shayla hasn't been trashing a couple, so it will hurt her. Um, right, so I haven't even mentioned Palace, by the way, but that doesn't matter because the game should end very, very quickly on piles here, and you don't really care about the Palace points too much. Shayla also picked up a gold at some point recently, according to the chat, which, okay, the Palace points, fine, but Hunting Grounds as a 6 course here is so good. It helps you draw, and it gives you a card that gains near the end of the game here, which can be very, very useful. So get your drawer on before you start putting stop cards like farmers market in there. I understand the appeal of farmers market though, right? It is a stack of 40 victory points looking at you there. But the issue is that even though it's a stack of 40 victory points, the accrual, the accumulation of those 40 victory points is very, very slow. You have to play for one farmers market card 5 times before you get 4 points. So what does that mean? If you only have one farmers market, you need to play it 5 times somehow, and in the absence of throne room or king's court, which it'll turn up most of the time without those things. If you just have the one, you have to wait 5 turns, maybe, before you get your precious 4 points off of the farmers market there. That's a lot of time. 5 turns is a lot of time in Dominion, and for 4 points, don't think that's worth it ordinarily in most cases. Again, I say in most cases here because sometimes it will be worth it, sometimes it will be. Anyway, another hunting grounds, 8 that I would have gone for stonemason and hunting grounds. Hugo is now following Shayla on this farmers market extravaganza here. You know, maybe they're into organic produced, non GMO stuff. I don't know, but right, the point I was making is that the accumulation of the farmers market points is too slow, especially in a game like this where the 3 pile is coming from so many different directions. Blessed villages are empty in this case. It doesn't have to be, but like lost cities, hunting grounds, and estates or something, or processions, stonemasons, like 5 or 6 different piles from which the pile out could come from here. That is not totally crazy to think about. Not totally crazy to think about it. 2 junk dealers, I think, is the way to go here as opposed to just the one. Definitely 2 junk dealers. Yeah, so that's it about farmers market. Like it's very, very slow to accumulate, and most games are not that slow. Honestly, like money games even will probably outpace just like if you're only able to play a single farmers market per turn, money games will outpace it. So you really have to find, that board if you want to play farmers market more competitively and to make it work. That board in which you could get your farmers market points somewhat quickly. So again, you need 5 plays of the farmers market to get your 4 points. So if you have a couple of them, well, you cut your time in about half, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying, the more farmers markets you have, well, the better, the quicker it is you'll get the points. So here there is procession. So you could process farmers markets, but there are so many more attractive targets on the board. For that, lost cities, hunting grounds, blessed villages, tons and tons. I'm actually surprised to see only 3 stonemasons bought at this stage of the game. Our pile should be half done. I think 9 again here. The players have turned for provinces. I completely missed that. But again, they really don't have to do that. They can just keep building indefinitely. There's a lot of opportunity to catch up on points, so you do not need to go after provinces. It makes your deck worse, makes it less reliable, is what I mean by that. It doesn't add any, extra gain in power, extra buy in power by putting those cards in. But they are going in this direction, picking up provinces, and Hugo will actually show you in a little bit the potential of a deck with a lot of hunting grounds and a lot of stonemasons in it and a lot of processions in it. So a bit of a stall turn here for Hugo. Um, yeah, so I don't know, just try to assess not just with farmers market, right? There are other cards that accumulate like temple and there are some landmarks and whatever. You have to really take your time, sit down and think about all the issues, right? Like, okay, how many points are there? How quickly can I get the points? Is it worth it to do this? What does my deck look like if I build it with this in mind? Is that good enough? What would I do in absence of this card? That kind of thing. Double Province with Shayla is very, very nice, and some people in the chat were convinced it was going to be Canada's first win in the match here. We are 4 love down, Team Canada, is what I mean there. Seeing the scoreline. So you see the gap, right? What is that? 25 points difference. Look at this turn from Hugo here, right? Procession on hunting grounds, right? So he gains that duchy from that. Good. So that's 1 duchy. Now let's see what he has here. Right? So Lost City, Blessed Village, whatever, that draws, who cares? Nobody cares, right? Stonemason on hunting grounds. Big, big, big points play here. That's triple duchy. Triple duchy. 1 from the hunting grounds, 2 from the stonemason. He's up to 28 points there now. He's up to 28 points. He pops our farmer's market for 4 more. He's able to draw his entire deck here, and with the bit of money he has right now, he'll get up to 14, and it does actually allow him the opportunity to tie Shaila on points here. Obviously, it would lose for him being first player, but my point is, your boy scored 25 points in 1 turn from a deck, that had stonemasons, hunting grounds, processions in it. So you don't need to push provinces, really. You don't need to push provinces. The hunting grounds is a tremendous card here, tremendous, tremendous. And couple that with stonemason, there's a lot of potential for gaining. And again, you don't have to choose the duchy option on the hunting grounds. You could choose the estate option if you want to pile out. So it does give you a lot of options. He goes for gold here and another hunting grounds. The gold giving him 3 points from the palace. Tragic hand here from Shayla. Sure, she would have loved to have seen 8 there, but just enough for a duchy. Little does she know that Hugo actually stalls here, so that's real, real good for her, except, well, you can already see it. Her hand is equally tragic. Equally tragic. So she missed 8 a couple times, which is unfortunate for her here. She did seem to have the upper hand near the end, but just couldn't come through with it. And Hugo is going to kick off here for the win. So that is how game 5 ends. That is 5-0 to the Dutch. They finished this match 6-0, which actually knocks Canada out of the World Cup. I know there's still a match to be played, and I will bring you at least one game from that. One of those games was very, very nicely played. But this is the end of the road for Canada in the World Cup. We do not progress to the quarterfinals. Congratulations to the Netherlands, of course. We did make it very, very close for them. They were the reigning champions. So let's see how far they can get. And as usual, I have left some of my notes after the video here. You can have a look at them. And this will be the only game I cover for this match. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the final match for Canada.